My boyfriend left me on the side of the road and I deserved it. My amazing, beautiful boyfriend had decided to treat me to dinner since we'd both had long weeks. He was making me laugh and we were talking and having a really good time. After we were done we left, and we were about halfway home when I asked him if we could stop and get some dessert. He said something like, haha, didn't we just eat, and keeps driving. My stupid, selfish self pushes it and says, come on, please. I want something sweet. He replies that we have ice cream at home and continues driving. After that I kept on pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, and while he's being way more patient with me than I deserve, he's firm and says no. I give up, but then I see a fast food restaurant up the road and jokingly pull the wheel to go into the parking lot. Apparently I pulled harder than I thought because we actually ended up swerving, and hit another car lightly. To make things worse, he just bought this car. The driver motions for us to pull into the parking lot, and when we do he and my boyfriend get out, and the driver starts cussing him out and saying horrible things to him. Even though there wasn't any damage to both the cars, the bumper has the littlest little dent on it, and the other car had no damage. They didn't even exchange any information. While he's being yelled at, I don't get out of the car and let him be punished for something I did. When he gets back in and starts driving, he's gripping the steering wheel so hard that the veins on his arms are popping out. His entire face is red and he hasn't said anything to me. To try and break the tension a little, I say, well, that could have gone a lot worse. As soon as I say that, he stomps on the brakes and just tells me to get out of his sight, in the angriest voice imaginable. I've never felt afraid of him, but in that moment I did. He looked like he was struggling not to hurt me. I got out and he sped off. It was starting to get dark and I was in a stretch of woods. It took almost an hour for me to walk home, but when I got there him and all his stuff was gone. I feel so horrible. I can't even apologize to him because he hasn't been responding to my calls and texts. We've had fights before about my childish quirks when they go a little bit too far, and now I don't have a boyfriend anymore because of it. I've been getting texts like WTF and what the hell is wrong with you from our friends, so I think he's told them what happened. It seems like everybody's mad at me. Is there any way to fix this? How can I apologize to them when all our friends are siding with him? Comment. Since everyone has said what needed to be said, write him a letter and offer to pay the damage in full. To his and the other driver's car. Acknowledge how dangerous, selfish, and irresponsible it was. That's the one and only thing you can do, and you should do it regardless of whether you continue the relationship. Good luck. You could have killed someone. You are fortunate you didn't. You need to step back and analyze yourself. This isn't childish behavior. What makes you think grabbing a steering wheel is okay? You're a grown-ass adult. You don't apologize. You offer to pay to fix the damages and grow the hell up. I can't tell you how much I wish people understood this. The kinetic energy accumulated at just 40 miles per hour is the same as driving the car off a 10-story building. I knew a girl once a very long time ago who got hit by a car traveling 30 miles per hour. When we first heard the news, our initial reaction was, oh, okay, the car wasn't going very fast. She'll probably be okay. Couldn't have been further from the truth. She suffered a massive brain injury that left her in a coma for months. She had to relearn absolutely everything, walking, talking, and had no memory of her life before the accident. She was never the same. Next story 2. I with fiancé about a month ago overheard her tell a friend her previous ex was the best lover she ever had. It was quite by accident that I heard this. We had a group of our friends over, and as the night went on we all kind of busted out into little groups. Some of us were in one room playing Texas Hold'em and a couple of others were watching a Lord of the Ring marathon. I thought she was watching the movies, but she and one of her close friends were actually sitting in the kitchen drinking coffee and talking. Our group had run out of soda, so I got up to go to the kitchen to get drinks and a couple of snacks. As I'm rounding the corner I hear my fiancée talking, and before I completely come in the room I hear her clearly say, "Jason is great but he will never be the lover that Bill was." She then followed it up with, "It's not really fair to Jason though, Bill was just really gifted down there." At first I thought about just walking back into the card game and pretending like we didn't have any extra soda or food, but I decided to kind of make a noise and go in. Her friend caught eye of me rounding the corner and I could see her make a face to my fiancé letting her know I was there. Of course she has no idea I heard her, and she just stops talking to her and asks me how I'm doing and if I'm having fun. I was tempted to say something like I'm having as much fun as someone who is not gifted down there can, but I didn't. I just said yes and proceeded to get my stuff and go back and finish the night. I just acted like nothing was wrong the rest of the night and went to bed. Needless to say, it fucked me up. I mean fucked me up bad. I've never been jealous or what you would call insecure about myself until that moment. I couldn't sleep that night and I went through a myriad of emotions while laying there. At first I was angry. Then I was humiliated. Then I was depressed. Then I was angry again. Look, I realize that the male ego seems stupid to women and even guys who are totally self-assured. I would have agreed with most of this prior to that night, but once it has been damaged it is a bitch. I tried to hide any form of emotion about it or ever let her know, but as the days went on I just kept getting worse and worse. I was avoiding her at all costs, and while she was suspicious she didn't really say anything. That is until she attempted to be intimate with me a few days later and I flat out rejected her. It wasn't by a conscious decision on my part, by the way. I had made the decision on my own to just try and get over it and move on. But in the moment, instead of being sexually aroused, I felt deeply inadequate and ashamed. Nothing was happening no matter how much either of us tried. She asked me what was wrong and I just told her I must have been stressed from work, but she would not believe that or let it go. So much to my humiliation, there I laid, naked in bed, unable to get an erection. I came clean and told her what I heard. Well, this did not go over well at all. At first she tried to tell me I did not hear her correctly. But I just repeated to her verbatim what she had told her friend. Well, once she couldn't deny it, she then tried to apologize, and to her credit she tried to listen to my feelings on the matter. Which once again I am sure was more of a big turn off for her because I was a wreck emotionally. She tried to tell me how much of a better person I was and how I satisfied her and she wanted nobody else. But all I could hear was Charlie Brown's teacher noise. It's been almost a month and I have zero desire to be with her sexually. None. She is now getting frustrated about this as well, but no matter what I have tried I just cannot get past this. It's not like she said we were both good lovers or anything like that. She clearly said he was far superior, and my guess is that being gifted down there means he was significantly larger than me as well. Well, I know I can do all kinds of things with my hands, tongue, and whatever else. But no matter what I do I can't grow in size. Obviously she refuses to talk about that with me, saying that no matter what she says it will only make things worse, because even if she says something positive about me I won't believe her. She's most likely right. Some backstory here. He dumped her. It was not a mutual breakup, he flat out dumped her and broke her heart. I know this because early on in our relationship she told me this. She said she wasn't ready to be serious about anybody because her previous ex left her and emotionally broke her. So this is not a case of me even being able to say, well, she's with me because she wants to be. If he hadn't dumped her she would never have left him. Now I have no idea if after all of these years she would leave me for him if he would come back, but I don't think she would. I just don't know what to do here. I can feel myself checking out of the relationship. I know this is petty as shit, but hearing the person you love tell someone else they prefer to have sex with someone else is just devastating to me. Her telling me all of my other good qualities has only made it worse because she is saying things that I think appeal to her and maybe other women, but being told I am a good provider and will make a great husband makes me feel like shit. Like, what would happen if I lost my good paying job, or better yet, what if I were to get injured and couldn't make anything more than state assistance? Would she be there to support and help me? Basically what I feel like right now is a really good friend who she just allowed to have sex with. I know in my head that this is not correct, but in my heart that is what I feel. Comment. Every predictor of divorce is here: criticism, defensiveness, stonewalling, and contempt. I feel like ops resentment would just fester. Maybe they address it, treat it, bury it, but ultimately down the line, eventually it will rear its head again in an argument completely unrelated to anything. Like 8 years in their marriage, they have 2 kids, and she would say, "Honey, can you turn off that game and take out the trash?" And he would yell back, "Yeah, and why don't you go fuck Bill again?" It's not about male insecurity, either. If I overheard a similar conversation my husband had with a friend about me, no matter how many times he told me I was a great mom, amazing cook, whatever, I would have trouble getting past what he said. And in all honesty, I wouldn't want to. If he doesn't have the wisdom not to say something like that where he could be overheard, or the empathy to realize he should not be saying it in the first place, I don't want him. My ex ruined my confidence in another way, but the result was similar. Zero attraction to her, and I legit couldn't get hard damn near if I tried, even with other girls who I found incredibly attractive. I thought something was wrong with me. Fast forward 5 years without her and all problems are sorted. It's amazing what your confidence will do to you. And it sounds like yours has taken a beating. So if it were me in this situation again, I'd immediately cut my losses and move on. Srey, no one wants to hear that, but it's likely your quickest path to normalcy.